What's up, guys? Welcome back to Hadley Unwritten. My name is Hadley, and today is going to be a fun video. We are giving books to each of my characters that I've written, and I'll tell you a little bit about them so you can kind of understand my reasoning. But yeah, so basically what we're going to do is I have, I think, 4 characters, and each of them, I'm going to give you their name, what world they're from, and some of their traits, and then I'm going to give them a book and explain why I gave them this book. It's going to be super fun. I'm super excited for this. So, number 1, we have Princess Jianna from Dawn of the Chosen. She's loyal, fierce, strong, misunderstanding, and she's always caring more than she lets on. Partly because as a child, she was very neglected by her father, whereas her twin sister Calliope was very groomed and raised to be groomed, pampered, raised to be queen, and so she became kind of this she became very much like her mother, but her mother is dead when the story starts, so we don't really meet her. But she becomes like her mother. Very strong, warrior-esque, and then she eventually runs away from home, but comes back and ends up being the one worthy person to wield this weapon and slay the demon. And so I chose 2 books for her because I couldn't decide between them. Number 1 I chose was Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I chose Dance of Thieves for Jianna because she's very bold and defiant and fiercely loyal, and this story kind of mirrors that in a way. It's about a heroine who refuses to be controlled, who makes her own rules and works toward what matters with every ounce of her skill and courage. And Jianna carries so much pain, responsibility, the weight of others. This book really captures somebody who stands tall under pressure like that, and it kind of shows fighting for freedom and love on her own terms, and it I don't know, it just seemed so Jianna, because all the women in this book are super strong warriors like her. And then book 2 is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And I thought Powerless would fit Jianna really well because Similar Thing is the book about a really strong female lead, and it captures grit and determination and a really raw kind of courage that comes from refusing to be crushed by a system designed to control you. In Jianna's case, this is her father, Casimir, he kind of redeems himself, but he's kind of sucky. Jianna, she's very loyal, protective, and relentless. And, Powerless, it kind of captures that fire, especially in Payton. Jianna is, so fiercely protective of her sister Calliope, and she's very older sister vibes. And in the same way, Payton is very protective of Adina, and in the same way, it would both destroy them if they died. And their reactions to Adina and Calliope's deaths are very similar. Very much ripping your heart out of your chest. And I think, honestly, that kind of came from me, because that's how I feel about my sister, so a little bit of me in there. But, also, even in Reckless, too, it's, Payton has this fear, she doesn't want to admit that she's now afraid to see blood because of Adina. And I think Jianna would be very afraid to admit that she's afraid of something too. But yeah, those are the 2 books that I chose for her. Dance of Thieves and Powerless. I'm so sorry if I keep looking down here. I just have everything written out so I don't forget anything. Number 2 is Kai from a dystopian book I'm writing. There are 2 Kais in this book. There's Kai the girl, spelled Khai, and then there's the Kai the boy, Kai, and Kai the boy is who we're talking about right now. He is, he hides his pain with sarcasm and humor, and he's very strong and loyal. He does not give up on you at all, which we see later in the story when Kai the girl has her own issues. He could also be a very cold-hearted bastard when he wants to be. He cut someone's head off because he killed Kai the girl's parents, so points for him, right? Anyways, for Kai, I chose a whole series for him just because I couldn't pick out one book where this character was. So this series is the Heroes of Olympus series. This is as good as I can show you. And I chose this series because for kind of capture exactly what he is, sarcastic, loyal, clever, unshakable when it comes to protecting the people. But especially like Leo Valdez in The Heroes of Olympus, he hides his pain with humor, and he has a significant amount of pain. Like Nico D'Angelo as well. He can be very cold and sharp when the situation demands it. As previously mentioned, he chopped somebody's head off. And then also, like Percy Jackson, the main character, he refuses to give up on those he loves. And he would take a poison knife for them. So like Annabeth a bit too. And I think he would definitely recognize himself in these characters. Probably have a silent breakdown, and then pretend he didn't, and pretend he was fine. And never admit that he identified with them, for fear of being put in an instant therapy, so... Poor kid just really needs a hug. Number 3, we have Alex Pierce from a paranormal story that I'm writing about werewolves. He was kidnapped by his 3 triplet older sister witches as a child, experimented on, and turned into a werewolf. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. But he is a bit of an evil guy. He kills people. His sisters, he didn't really kill them, but he killed his sisters in front of them, and so then they hate him because he thinks he's evil, but he's really not. But this kind of evil mindset that he is evil has been like molded into his brain, and now he can't get that out of his head, so he constantly thinks he's evil, and so he constantly hides his pain because he thinks he's evil and doesn't deserve care for it. And he is significantly questionable in his actions, but he would die and he would kill for those he loved, no questions asked. His mate, Ivy, came up to him, and she was like, hey, this kid beat up my best friend. I think we should kill him, because she's fiercely loyal and protective, too. They're werewolves, okay? Cut them some slack. They're not human. He went and helped her kill him, so. For Alex, I chose Divergent. Yeah, I chose Divergent for Alex because he refuses to fit into, like, a moral box that somebody else built for him, and... The story is really, it's like about rejecting imposed identities and choosing your own code, even when that makes you dangerous. And trust me, Alex is friggin' dangerous. He isn't trying to become softer or more acceptable. Like, he's loyal, he's violent when he has to be. The scene I just wrote, he like bit somebody's hand off and just took it with him, like a dog playing fetch, like a psychopath, really. But he won't bow just to be forgiven. Like, I mean, he'd bow for Ivy, but that's a different situation. And then, like the factionless in this, he kind of exists in the in-between space, like morally gray, but not really. He's more on the good side. His morality is personal, and survival really means, like, standing your ground, you know? This book definitely wouldn't ask him to change who he is, and I think he'd probably identify with a lot of people in this. Specifically the minor characters more than the main characters, but that's him. Again, like Kai, this poor kid just needs such a big hug. Oh my gosh, and somebody needs to tell him that he's good and he's loved. But that's why he has Ivy. And while we're on the topic of Ivy, let's move into her book. This is number 4. I think I messed up my numbers. She's from the same book as him. She's a werewolf. She has anger issues. She's exceptionally fierce. In all of her things, she's fiercely loving, fiercely protective, fiercely loyal. She's exceptionally questionable morals. Angry, protective, and she will give and give and give until she has nothing left. And she's really like that. Like, she, oh gosh, I can't say anything about it because I'm going to spoil the whole book. Anywho, but the book I chose for her was The Daughter of the Pirate King. Because like Alasa, she's like fiercely loyal and unflinching in danger, and she's literally a knife with a smile, except she's like claws and fangs because she's a werewolf with a smile. So this story is really about like a heroine who will do whatever it takes to achieve what matters, even if it means breaking rules. Bending morals will become terrifying to those who threaten her. In the first chapter in this book, or first or second chapter, Alasa kills I think 3 people just to prove a freaking point. Ivy would freaking do that, okay? Yeah, she's like, she gives and gives and gives until she has nothing left. I already said that. But, and then when somebody crosses the line, you know she's gonna strike back, and she's gonna strike back hard. You know, like one of her friends got beat up, and she actually murdered him. I already said this. Although the friend that got beat up, he almost died because of it, because, yeah. Like Alonsa, she's bold, strategic, and unapologetically fierce. Like, you will not find any apologies in Ivy. And yeah, her devotion is her strength, and her wrath is a weapon, and she will kill you if you cross the line. I'm not joking, she will. And the best thing is like, I have no control over that. Like, if she decides to kill somebody, she's gonna kill somebody. I'm just writing it down. I'm the recorder, I'm the biographer, okay? Like, she's gonna do her. And lastly, we have Juniper from The Love I Never Outgrew, the Christmas novella I wrote in Vlogmas. She's very kind, sarcastic, and secretive. I already talked about this book a lot, so I'm not going to cover who she is or what she's in. If you want to know that, go watch this video. But the book I chose for her was Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. A really cute little classic. I actually love that book so much. But basically, I chose Little Women for Juniper because it understands love and loss and quiet strength in a way that feels like really personal. And Juniper gives a lot to others, like her mom, Aspen, her friends, while holding her own fears inside. This book also really shows that you can be like tender and brave and flawed all at once, and that love doesn't have to be allowed to matter. And it also shows that you can follow your dreams and be a strong woman, which is something June could both learn from and identify with. But it also shows that marriage and love can be your dream, which is really cool in today's society to learn that, because you see so much like, just get a job and like build your own stuff. But it's like, it's okay if your dream is to just want to get married and have kids. But anyways, but yeah, it's really cool to show. And it also reflects June's desires, because she's also she's a bit of Joe, like, I really want to do this, I really want to grow my boutique. But she's also a lot like Meg, like, I really want to fall in love, you know? So yeah, that's Juniper for you. That is all for today's video. Thank you so much for listening to me yap about my characters. This was so much fun. I love them all so much. They're like my children. I saw this thing on Pinterest that was like, when like your family, your relatives ask if they can read your writing, and you're like, and it was like this gif, I think, of a comedian, I don't know him. He's like, only if everybody gets really cool with a lot of things really quick. And I thought that was so funny, because that is so true. But yeah, thank you for listening to me yap about my characters and what books I give them. Books and writing, this is my favorite things ever. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for other fun videos. I'm so excited for all the videos that are to come. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next chapter. God bless. I just knocked books over with my foot.